Hello, my loves, and welcome back to Along This Spiritual Journey. So, mastery is a skill set. It is not something that most people are born with. You can be born with master skills, but you have to know how to nurture them into fruition. For the regular smegular out there, it takes discipline. For people who have never experienced something that makes them feel important, you're going to have to find ways to master your abilities. Because at the end of the day, every human being wants to feel important on some level. May it be through self recognition or external recognition, that is up to you. For myself, it's internal, so I need to and love to validate myself, which means I love to challenge everything that I do. Regardless of what it is, I will put my all into it in trial and error until I figure it out. And I think the most important part of mastering anything is trial and error. We've talked about this before. It's all about knowing that, okay, I can pick this, I can choose this, I can discard this. At the end of the day, how do I implement it so that it works for me in a different way, right? Mastery of anything is always going to take discipline of self. There's many times where I watch people get caught up in translation of who they think they are based on how much schooling they did and how much focus they put into this one thing. And yes, that is mastering something. But there's also a level of just becoming proficient in something. Proficiency is being able to do the task at the highest ability to get it done without question. You just do it the way it needs to be done proficiently. Mastery is finding a way to get the same thing done and finding new ways to get it done that weren't thought of before because you've learned every avenue, you've exhausted every outlet. And when you understand this as a master or a blueprinter or a creator, you start to see that, this is about me. This is about how I put myself into this thing and understand it because there's a passion behind it. So I'll say that. Mastery has passion behind it. Proficiency has a task behind it. You want to get something done because you know you're going to get a reward. That's why you're proficient at doing a certain task. Mastery, it can be messy. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to make sense. But as long as you understand the skill of what needs to get done in a way that most people have not thought about, you're going to literally take yourself to the next level. You're not going to understand how it happened because overnight you've put in so much work and you've done so much work that you don't realize that that's practice, right? Practice makes permanent. And so there is a level of proficiency that kickstarts your mastery journey, but it does not stop there. Proficiency just means I understand what it needs to look like on the outside. Mastery is saying I understand what it needs to be from the inside, from the jump, so that then when it manifests from the outside from the inside out to anything, people are gonna look at it like this is a masterpiece. How did they think of this? How did they come up with this? Because there will be so many nuances to what you've created and are presenting. Mastery is about literally figuring out every outlet, every possible scenario, because you've already experienced it. There will be more along that journey and path that will insert itself and say, okay, try this, smarty. And if you can figure it out, you master a new level. You get to that point of wisdom. A great example could be for me cooking. I have never thought about cooking as being a professional. I've only done it for myself. I've only cared to only cook for myself and family members or people who are around me. And everyone's like, you're a really good cook. And for a long time, I'm like, I guess, I think I'm good because I had nothing to compare it to. I wasn't trying to be proficient and compare it to another cook or chef or anyone else. I was mastering my own level of taste. So because of that, I was able to create something else that other people had never experienced. So when I bring people vegetable dishes or anything else because I'm vegan, they're like, whoa, this don't taste vegan. In my mind, I'm like, I don't know what vegan tastes like. You know what I mean? I know what food tastes like to me, and I know what tastes good to me. So that's how I make my food. And if it's to a level that I am changing the chemistry of not only the food, but also someone's mind, then so be it. I mastered a level of cooking that most people have not taken the time to do. Somebody else, they might just, clean them up real nice, present them real nice, saute clean. That's nice. Me, I'm gonna do the same thing and then I'm gonna recreate it into something else. And you'll be like, where did this idea come from? And I'll be like, I have no idea. This is what the point of mastering something is. I think I said it before, but mastering something does not have to be clean. Mastering things takes time and it will get messy. Proficiency in something means you're trying to perfect the task and how you get it done. And as long as it looks the way it needs to look, then you've done your part. That is not so much mastery compared to someone who actually knows that, well, it takes a certain type of temperature, it takes a certain type of seasoning, it takes a certain type of technique to get the food the way I want it to so that people cannot think about it, right? As an example, versus people can see, oh, these are just vegetables, and yeah, it's seasoned and cooked nicely, but it still just tastes like vegetables. See, I like to marinate my stuff. I like to marinate it so that all of it can soak up into it. And then when you bite into it, you're going to have a different experience than what you anticipated. Because most people are thinking about water dense foods. When I put in seasoning, they're like, I don't taste the vegetable, because that's the point. I mastered how to change the chemistry of what works for me. That's all mastering anything is when it comes to sports, when it comes to humanities, anything that you can think of. When you learn how to master it to your taste and master it to what you like, then others who are on this level and this journey will come along and say, wow, I was trying that when I first got into this situation and I did not think to do that. I was so against doing it this way and I just ended up doing it the other way, whatever that might be, and then you're not happy with the results. This is why mastering something is important. For me, another example is spirituality. I had to learn how to master the level of spirituality that I'm at. For me, it's emotional intelligence. Other people, it might be something else. Each healer has its modality. But for me, I was wondering always, what is this entity inside of me that I know is dreaming and thinking and feeling and conjuring things up that come out and then manifest into this physical world, that I know that I probably didn't have much input in, but I just sat and thought about it and let the energy pass through me. That's when I started to recognize, oh, not all energy is meant for me. Not everything is meant for everyone to understand. It's just meant for that certain person or certain groups of persons to understand, because it's going to help them get to their next level. This is what TikTok is for. There's going to be many different people with the same information in the same framework of how they make their videos, right? There's always going to be a trend on how to do the next thing. That's your choice. But if you're not mastering that skill, you're just copy and pasting, then when it comes to someone saying, hey, I really want to know, how did you get to this next level? And you're like, all I did was copy them. Well, you're not a master. I don't care how much you've learned how to copy someone else. You only master things by actually implementing them into your life and trying them. So yes, it's nice to see a technique that works, but if it's not yours, don't overuse it. Use what works for you. And then that's where you get to your mastery level, because then anything else that's associated with the foundation you can bypass. It's just like a brushstroke. Once you learn how to use your wrist properly, you also learn how to paint. If you have a stiff wrist and you're only painting with your joints, well, guess what? You're only going to be able to maneuver so many things out of that. And then it's going to reveal your skill set. So pay attention to how you master things for yourself and not just copying others because it works, okay? Mastery is always a self-discovery journey. So go discover yourself, all right? Love ya. Mwah.